Everyone. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone for a midweek class. I know it's a little bit hard. Everyone probably coming back from work. Hope they have taken prasadam. So we'll try to keep it straight and see if we can finish a little earlier. Okay, so we did 3 verses last week because there's a lot of revision. So I was thinking one thing for most of the devotees as well, that maybe we can revise only the key verses, which I think is of prominence, and that way, we can have more time for our new verse discussion, if that's okay with everyone. We can do that from today onwards. Although last time we only discussed 3 verses, so it should not take long. I'm also requesting everyone else except one devotee who has told me, if you can switch on the cameras, it really helps to see each other and interact. And wherever you are, it's all okay. It doesn't matter. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So let's start from 826. I can see Jambati Mataji, Hare Krishna. If you'd like to do.
Yeah, I'm so sorry I wasn't there for the last.
Okay, no problem, Mataji. Prasanna Prabhu, just a quick one. Just try to do a quick revision. Prabhu, you're on mute. Prasanna Prabhu.
No, actually, I came to temple. So yeah, I didn't get my specs. So
okay, no worries, no worries. It's okay. Mohit Prabhu is here.
All right, Prabhu. So just see the translation. According to Vedic opinion, there are 2 ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back. When one passes in darkness, he returns. So basically, Prabhu, is a continuation of the previous verse and how the yogis leave the body. So it's just the option that was what happened when they left the body in light and what happened in the darkness. We didn't do much in it. We just see the translation for this verse.
Yeah, so it is a conclusion of previous.
Conclusion of the previous, yes.
So anyone remembers which verse is for Sukla Krishna? 824, that's for Sukla Krishna. And this talks about which sort of yogis? Jnana yogis. And the destination is Brahman. So that's 824. And Jagate Shastri Mate Ekyayati Anavrittim. So one talks about Anavrittim and another one talks about Avrittim Puna, Avartate Puna. So Avartate Puna, which refers to 825. And they are for the Karma yogis. And the destination is Sargloka, one of the Sarglokas. And there they stay, bring Somrasa and all that, and comes back. Okay, that's good. 827, Akhandasa Prabhu or Ujjwala Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Can
Krishna.
I give it a miss because we were driving and then didn't realize.
No
Prabhu,
problem.
so.
It's okay, Mataji. Bhakti Vijay Mataji, would you like to do?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Although the devotees knows these 2 parts, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Naite 3 part. So na is never. Ate these 2. So the 2 different parts in the previous verse, that passing on the night and then passing in the daytime. Even though there is these 2 parts that Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, the devotees in particularly who are fixed in devotion service, they never bewildered. So basically it's saying that devotees, it doesn't matter for devotees whether they are passing in Krishna Paksha or Shukla Paksha or day and night or which path, because they are doing the devotional service to Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So that is the first 2 lines, and then what's the result? Krishna explains. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu.
Yes, therefore be always fixed in devotional service.
Yes. So sarveshu kaleshu, for all the kalas, yoga yukto bhavarjuna. So, be a yogi. And what sort of yogi? Just the verse number 647. So
yeah.
he prefers the Bhakti yogi as the topmost yogi. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
The last one, Tanya Mataji, would you like to do this? This is actually really, really important verse. I'm not sure the key words list or no, but I'm saying from devotional perspective, very important words.
Okay, I'll just read the translation first. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches a supreme eternal abode. So, Prabhuji, you mentioned that the context for this verse is that it's for devotees. So there are three things that are mentioned, which is yagya, dan, and tapa. Yagya means performance, like sacrifice. Tapa is on doing austerities, and dan is like donation. So these are very important in Vedic culture. And outside of this, Vedeshu, which is reading of Vedic literature. Then Athei is even higher. So if you become a Satatam yogi, which is that is a devotee who is constantly associated with Krishna. So the conclusion is that you will achieve spiritual abode. Yeah, that's what I remember.
No, thank you, Mataji. Nice. I'll just explain the word atyeti is very, very important. Like people in the material world, as we were discussing last time, in a Vedic culture at least, the three things were extremely important. As much as you said, agyigyeshu tapasu daneshu, yagyadan tapakriya, pavnani manishana. Even the higher people also perform these activities because pavnani, they purify them. And the fourth activity you just mentioned is Vedeshu, reading the Vedic literature. Obviously, why it wasn't common, because it was only for Brahminical class, so-called Brahminical class. But Yagya, Tapa, and Dan, everyone was involved in here and there in these three activities. So if you are doing these four activities, what do they give you? Yatte punya phalam pratishtam. They give some sort of punya, pious credits to you, which is fine, no problem. But if you perform devotion, what happens? Atyeti, and if you look in the translation, Prabhupada says surpasses. So not only you get the result of those activities, but you surpass the result of those activities. Suppose each activity give you just a simple example, $10, $10, $10. So if you do 4 activities, how much you get? Say $40. But if someone gives you $1 million, so what happens? $40 already included in the $1 million, plus you have another, Mohit Prabhu can tell, 1 million minus $40, whatever it is. So you get so much if you do devotion. You don't have to worry about these $5 and $10 notes, $5 and $10 activities. Devotees also doing Vedeshu. We are doing Vedeshu right now. We are understanding Krishna, but for what purpose? To come closer to Krishna. We are doing yagya. Anyone knows we are doing yagya? We are doing sacrifice. Are we doing sacrifices? Any examples a devotee can give from a devotional perspective? Don't talk about this entire sacrifice. Chanting, Sankirtan Yagya. Thank you. So we are all doing Sankirtan Yagya. And we're also doing another Yagya, like I can see Jamati Mataji, book distribution Yagya. That's a Yagya, that's a sacrifice. And other devotees do so many Yagyas. Tapa, anyone do Tapa here? In ISKCON, anyone do Tapa? Yeah, a lot of eating is one Tapa, but other than that.
Ekadashis we do.
Ekadashi, Mangala Aarti. We do lots of activities which are so-called austerity as well, but again, purely Krishna conscious. Daneshu, anyone does Dan here? What sort of Dan we are talking here?
We donate to the spiritual cause, to the temple.
We donate for the spiritual cause. So we're talking finances here. That's one. Another Dan. Anyone does any other Dan? Shabd Dan. Bhagavatam says Shabd Dan is the highest Dan. Huh? So when we distribute Krishna to others, that is considered the highest charitable activity. And Prabhupada did that. And we are also participating in our own way, a little bit here and there. When we meet people, what we talk about? We talk about Krishna. And if we don't, we should be talking about Krishna. That's called Shabd Dan, giving Krishna to others in that Vani. So we are doing all that. but we are not doing specifically dana. Chalo aaj daan dena hai. It's just a side activity. We do. It's Krishna's money, and we should support Krishna's temple or Krishna's missionary activities. We do yajna, we do tapa, and we do Vedic literature study as well. But that is in terms of purely becoming a better devotee. And that's why atyeti. So we don't have to, sometimes if you go to India and you meet with our families, so what do? You become a devotee now. So you just sit and chant for 2 hours, they all brainwashed you. They call you, they discourage you. What, are you doing something for the society? Now I can see Prasannatha Prabhu has come to temple and probably is sitting in the van still. He goes for, a Krishna conscious activity, giving prasadam. Prasanna Prabhu, we can see his face is always prasanna. And when people see him prasanna, they become prasanna, especially when he arrives with a bucket of prasadam in Newtown. So people are eagerly waiting. So he's doing dana as well. But he's not specifically doing dana. He's doing, I'm distributing Krishna prasad. And we all do in our own way. Someone donates finances as well. Someone donates time. Someone donates energy. Someone donates skill. Devotees are creating posters for Krishna. So much computer work they are doing for Krishna. Actually, whole day IT people will know 30% time goes in work, and 70% time goes in temple work. What to do? There's so much work. Whole day we are involved somehow or other in relation to Krishna. And on top of that, what you get? So not only you get this, atyeti, you surpasses. What else you get? The topmost thing, as per this verse I'm talking. What is the topmost thing as per this verse? Atyeti, you surpass. And what you get? Yogi param sthanam upayati. You get to achieve param, supreme abode of Krishna. You get to live with Krishna if Krishna desires. So that's not our final sort of destination, but if Krishna desires, so we can achieve that, or we can come back. Mam janmane janmaneshware bhavatat bhaktir ahet pitva. So it doesn't matter wherever Krishna wants us to be, but as per this verse, you actually achieve param abode, the supreme destination. So this is a beautiful verse, and that's why if anyone discourages you based on one devotee was telling, he was in the temple, a very senior devotee. Someone met him, a new person, and he said, he was just talking, you're a devotee, been in temple for some time. So he put his hand out and he said, so can you read my palm? And the devotee said, I'm not an astrologer, I can't read. He said, if you can't read palm, then what sort of devotee you are? So for them, unless you can forecast something in future, predict something for the future, tell something about the past, something mysterious, you're not a devotee. Oh, you are just waste. You're wasting your time in this temple or with these people. So for them, anything has to be mystical, mysterious, but they don't understand. When Prabhupada was asked, so do you know some magic? So Prabhupada very confidently said, and directing towards his, 20 white elephants, he said, they are my magic. They are my magic. So this magic is not something, making a sugar out of sand. Anyone can do that. But Prabhupada transformed the people, so-called very, very low conscious people to a very high conscious people. That's a miracle which Prabhupada did. And we can also be transformed. Prabhupada many times often called converting crows into swans. So we are all like crows when we enter into the temple. But by association of devotees, by reading Krishna conscious literature, slowly and slowly, we see, all of us see here, we are transformed. We are not the one which when we entered 10, 12, 15 years ago. Anyone can say that. Now our anarthas may not have gone as yet, obviously we are struggling devotee in that sense, but many of the things are changed, some are on the way. And Sripala Prabhu called this at least our values are changed, if not the behavior. Behavior means you should not get angry. One time one devotee was distributing books somewhere in India, and some street gundas came and they were like, no, it was actually Prabhupada disciple. He was preaching to some group of people in India. And, some people came and was tempting him to get angry. And finally, he could not tolerate. He put his fist down on the table very heavily. He said, stop this nonsense. And they said, look at you. You can't even do anything. What transformation you have. You cannot even control your anger. He said, you know what? 3 years ago, if you would have met me, you would be falling on the ground by this time. Because I've been reading Prabhupada literature, I can control my anger that I'm only putting fist on the table, not on your face. That's the transformation. That's the transformation. Huh? So our anger may not have gone yet, our lust may not have gone, our greed may not have gone yet completely, but still we are changed. We are changed. We are not the same. Anyone can say we are exactly same as we entered into the temple, say 10 or 15 years ago. I think everyone will have their own stories, how they have changed. Obviously, we are in the process. There's a sign, WIP, work in progress. We are all work in progress category. Huh? We are not perfected as yet, but we are on the path. We are on the path, and one day we'll get there. So, very important was we should never ever get discouraged under any statement. Whatever activities we are doing, it is eternal. It is eternal. It is for Krishna's pleasure. It's not for our personal benefit. So they should be carried on. Lakh sankat pade sharira, Ram naam mat chodo veera. No matter what happens, Ram naam should not ever be quit from our tongue, no matter what happens. Okay, so that was the 8th chapter. Now we are entering into the 9th chapter today. Anyone has any quick questions? We can take that before we enter into the 9th, which is one of the most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, everyone is happy. So I take it as no. So thank you. So 9th chapter, as Prabhupada called, is the most confidential knowledge. The Sanskrit is Raj Guhya Yoga. So Raj means Raja, Guhi means secret, and Yoga, which is added to all the chapters actually of Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. So first 6 chapters, we know Gita is divided into 3 parts. So the first part, sometimes we call it Karma Yoga. The second is Bhakti, and the third is the Jnana Yoga. But actually, if you see, the first part of Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita lead from Karma to Bhakti Yoga. As we know, 647, which is the sort of topmost pinnacle verse, Krishna wants you to become a Bhakti Yogi. And the last 6 chapter, which is called so-called Jnana Yoga, actually they lead from Jnana to Bhakti. Anyone can give one example from the 18th chapter, which proves this, that Bhagavad Gita's last 6 chapter lead from Jnana Marg to Bhakti Marg. So first section, we have the pinnacle is 647. That's right. For the last section, for Jnana Marg, what's the pinnacle verse which converts the Jnana into Bhakti or leads you towards Bhakti? 1865, 1866. Sarvadharmanupartya mamekam sharanam vraja. So Krishna says very clearly, sab kuch chhod do, leave everything and just come and surrender unto me and I'll take care of you. So last 6 chapters leading from Jnana to Bhakti, and the middle 6 chapters are Bhakti itself. So they focus completely on Bhakti. Now, within the first, in these middle 6 chapters, what the 7th chapter does? Anyone? He starts focusing on Bhakti. What's the chapter name? In English, you can say the knowledge of the absolute. That's the 7th chapter. So Krishna starts focusing on himself. What's the first verse of the 7th chapter? Maya asakt mana partha, yoga myunjan madashraya. So, hey Parth, you become asakt. Your mind, your mana should be attached to Maya asakt mana. Your mind should attach to me. So Krishna starts from there, and then Krishna talks about surrender, and Krishna talks about different types of people. Some surrender and some don't surrender, and all that he did in 7th chapter. 8th chapter. What's the theme of 8th chapter? Anyone? Remembering Krishna. And especially remembering Krishna at the time of death. Now, Krishna also does a comparison in 8th chapter of Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, which is a verse. Anyone? Which so does the comparison and gives a conclusion, which is better. 8:14. Tasyaham sulabha parthasya nitya yuktasya yoginaha. Tasyaham sulabha partha. So I am sulabh. I am easily attained by those who follow the path of Bhakti. So 8:14 does that. And later what he does a comparison between material world and spiritual world. And he constantly says material world is temporary, dukhalam shashvatam. So what you should do, you move your focus on the spiritual world, which is eternal, full of happiness. This is not dukhalam, this is sukhalam, and that is shashvatam. So he changes the focus. Now Krishna is coming again in the 9th chapter, which you can say in one sense similar to the 7th chapter, but is much deeper. Which other 2 chapters in Bhagavad Gita are similar in theme, but second one is in greater depth? 3 and 5. 3 and 5. 3 is Karma Yoga and 5 is Karma Yoga Action and Krishna consciousness, right? So 3 and 5 both talks about similar things, but 5th one is deeper. Similarly, 7th and 9th both talk about Krishna and Bhakti, the process by which Krishna can be won over, but the 9th takes a sort of a deeper realm. So 7th chapter, if you see, what was the first 3 verses of 7th chapter? Glorification of the knowledge about Krishna, if you remember the theme of the verse. And read in 9th chapter, actually I can open that right now, because we're discussing the introduction of the 9th chapter. So first 3 verses there in the 7th chapter was Manucharam Sastesu Kashidit Siddhai, 7.3. Very, very rare someone tries for this knowledge. Same you'll see here, hearing about Krishna, qualification and disqualification. Then the next section in the 7th chapter was from 4th onwards, how Krishna is pervasive throughout the material world. And then he said, Matta Partaramna Nitkinchidasya Ranjya. I am the underlying cover for everything. Everything rests on me, and there's no higher truth than me. Same thing he will say here. Krishna's inconceivable relationship with the material world. So how Krishna is related with the material world, how Krishna is pervaded in the material world, this he will talk here, and how he sustains the material world, and how he creates and destroys the material world. So this sort of similar theme. Now in the 7th chapter, if you see 14th onwards, when you say Devi Hesha Igunmai Mam Maya Duratya Mame Vya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tamte. So he talks about the material nature there. So 7:13, 7:14 actually. Now 9:13 he will talk about the spiritual nature, exactly opposite, talking about the nature and how you can take shelter of. 7:14 was Devi nature, and here we'll talk about Devi nature again, but in a spiritual sense. And then he talks about different worshippers. So if you remember the 7th chapter, Chaturvidha Bhajante Mam Janas Chaitanya Arjuna. So he talked about how many people, how many types of people, 4 types of people surrender into Krishna. And then he says, Namam Duskritano Mudha Prapadante Naradma. 4 types do not surrender to me, 4 types surrender unto me. 9th chapter, similar theme he will take. He will take the theme of impersonalism, 11 and 12. 13 and 14, he will talk about Keval Bhakta, pure devotees. And 15 onwards to 19, he will talk 4 or 5 verses about other than Keval Bhakta and other than impersonalist. And then in the next section, he's comparing the demigod worship to the devotees. And if you remember the 7th chapter, 7:20 onwards, he did the same thing. So 7:19 was Vasdeva Sarvati Samatma Sudurlabha. And then he spoke about demigod worship. He spoke about impersonalism. Same thing he's doing here, but in a much deeper way. In the last section, which is the glories of the directly worshipping Krishna. So in the initial part of the chapter, Krishna's supremacy is proved. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. What's his relationship with the material world? What's his relationship with different types of people who had different perceptions of Krishna? And finally, the conclusion of this chapter, the 9th chapter I'm talking, will lead to how Bhakti sort of overcomes Krishna. So Krishna, who is Ajit, you cannot overcome Krishna. His name is Ajit. Ajit means jo jeeta nahi ja sakta, becomes Jit. Jit means whom you can win. So Krishna, you cannot win by logic and argument, mental speculation, by your jnana, by your money, by your strength. You cannot win Krishna. Krishna has all of them at top. But how you can win Krishna is by bhakti. So the process of bhakti is glorified in this last section, which is the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. There are beautiful verses in this particular section. So it's just an overview of the chapter. And this is considered, so Bhagavad Gita is considered the summary of all the Vedic literature. Very important, the most important summary of the Vedic literature. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is the most important section, you can unmute if you like. The middle 6 chapters are the most important chapters. So middle 6 chapters, you can say the summary of the summary. Is that right to say? Now, summary of the summary is middle 6 chapters. Now, within this 6 chapter, what's the most important chapter is chapter number 9, the most confidential knowledge. It says the word, the most. So the 9th chapter becomes a summary of the summary. Is that correct? The summary of the summary of the summary, right? 3 summaries are there. Summary Q was there. Now, within 9th chapter, what is the conclusion? The summary of the summary of the summary of the summary is the last section, which is the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who has done commentary in this particular chapter, and he explains this last section, he has actually explained, and we'll read a little bit about it at least, how should I say, the sweet pastimes of Krishna. And say Bhagavad Gita, pastimes of Krishna. Actually, Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains this last section is a very sweet madhurya pastime of Krishna in this 9th chapter. And within the 9th chapter, the 9.34 is known as summary of the summary of the summary of the summary of the summary. So that is like the concludatory verse, which includes everything what you need to know to become a devotee, to be sustained as a devotee, and how the devotion is the most important factor in anyone's life. Okay, Tanya Mataji.
Prabhuji, quick one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought Chatur Shlok is the summary of the summary of the summary of
Yes. So
Bhagavad Gita.
Chatushlaka will also come within this category, Mataji. So Chatushlaka is obviously in this section, 10.8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the 9th chapter is considered very, very important. Very, very important. And within that important, the glories of bhakti is being explained. That's how our acharyas explained. Now, Chatushlaki Bhagavad Gita, because you have mentioned that, I'll just give a little more background. So this term was coined by Ramanujacharya, who is the head of Sri Sampradaya. And our acharyas have also taken that term and followed that. And that's why in one angle it said Chatushlaki Bhagavad Gita is the gist of the whole Bhagavad Gita. That is also correct. It is coined by Sri Ramanujacharya. Okay. So let's proceed into the 9th chapter. So there are 5 beautiful sections in this. So first section we're talking about hearing about Krishna, which is again equivalent to the 7.123, 9.123. Okay. Let's read 9.1. Now, the chapter name comes primarily from 9.2, but you can also say from 9.1 partially. Let's see how. So 9.1. Madhuri Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Bhagavan Uvacha.
Idam tu te guhyatamam. Idam tu te guhyatamam. Pravakshyami anasuyave.
Pravakshami anasuyave.
Jnanam vijnana sahitam.
Jnanam vijnana sahitam.
Yajnatva mokshayase shubhat.
Yajnatva mokshayase shubhat.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart of you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence."
Thank you, Mataji. So Sri Bhagavan Vacha, so Krishna starts saying, Idam tute guhyatamam. Anyone knows the meaning of guhyatamam without looking, if possible? So guhyam
is secret.
Secret, mysterious. Huh?
Mysterious.
And tamam? Tamam refers to?
Among everything, tamam.
So tamam refers to a superlative degree.
Superlative.
So in English, good, better, best. Huh? So there's a comparative degree and there's a superlative degree. In Sanskrit, you must have heard this term in Vedic literature. So there's a Priya, Priyatara, and Priyatama. Huh? So Radharani uses this word for Krishna. You are my Priyatama. You are my dearmost. Huh? Sometimes Prabhupada also called dearmost servant of Krishna. Huh? So Tama refers to the superlative degree. So what does Guhyatama will mean? The most confidential. Huh? So Guhya is confidential, and from Guhya comes Gufa in Hindi. The word Gufa. Gufa means secret. You don't know what's inside the Gufa. There may be snakes, there may be a bhalu or someone else or something else. Huh? So Guhya Tamam. Idam tute guhitamam. So I am going to speak to you. What I'm going to speak to you? Guhitamam knowledge. Very confidential knowledge. Pravakshami. Pravakshami refers to I'm going to speak. Why I'm going to speak to you? What's the qualification of Arjuna? Anusuyave. Anusuyave means you are non-envious. Anyone has heard the word Anusuya? Anusuya Devi, the wife of Atri Rishi. So what does Atri mean? Atri. Tri means 3 gunas. Atri means who is beyond 3 gunas. So Atri Rishi is not one of the normal rishis. His name is Atri. Atri means one who is beyond 3 gunas. He is the son of Brahma. Now, and his wife is, so if he is beyond the gunas, imagine how his wife will be. Anusuya. Huh? She doesn't envy. She doesn't have any envy. Huh? Anusuya is so great. She's even blessing Mother Sita. Can you imagine? Mother Sita, Jagat Janni, is getting blessed by this lady called Anusuya. And who takes birth in her house? Dattatreya. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, I don't want to go into the story. They came to test Anusuya. Anusuya passed all the tests. She made Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh into small babies because she was so chaste to her husband. Huh? She was so chaste. Huh? Anusuya. So Anusuya means no envy. So because Arjun has this qualification of Anusuya way, he's qualified to receive the knowledge. Any other verse in Bhagavad Gita in the previous chapters where Arjun's disqualification is mentioned and says, and Krishna says, I'm going to tell you this because you are qualified for this. 4.3. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyadhi etat uttamam. You can have a look at 4.3. Huh? You are my bhakta and you are my sakha. Bhakta means favorable or unfavorable. If someone says, I'm your devotee, what does it mean? I'm favorable to you. I will do what you like me to do for you. And envious means I will never do what you like to do. Huh? So envy and bhakti is completely different. Why we are not bhakta? It says because we have envy in our heart. Envy for Krishna and envy for Krishna's devotees and Krishna's glories. So when we remove the envy, bhakti will come. Or rather, I should say, when bhakti comes, envy will go out. Prabhupada gave a very simple example. If a glass has a blue ink and you want to take the blue ink out without emptying the glass, what you should do? Pour the water. Pour the water. Pour a lot of water. And what will happen? All the blue ink will slowly come out. All the blue water will just go away and you'll see a clean water in the glass. So what is the blue water in our heart? All the envy, all the anarthas, lust, greed, anger, this and that. This is all blue ink in our heart, contaminated heart. And what is the clean water? Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, what we're doing right now. And we're doing Kirtan with so many forms. That is like a white, fresh water. When you pour the water on the blue ink, you cannot just like wash the heart in a Samsung washing machine. Anyone has a Samsung machine which can clean our heart? We have Srimad Bhagavatam machine which cleans our heart. It's not a Samsung machine, it's Srimad Bhagavatam machine or Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Cleans the heart. So when we pour Srimad Bhagavad Gita, pour Srimad Bhagavatam, pour the Kirtan of Krishna, take the service of Krishna, take responsibility about Krishna, they act like a clean water. And the clean water goes for a long time. Will it happen in one hit? Today, go to temple and come back as a pure bhakta, 100% pure bhakta. I don't know whether it happens with you. It never happened with me. Going for a long time, but still aspiring. So clean water. When you put clean water for a long time, all the ink will go out. Prabhupada gave very simple example. So we can understand that, relate with that. So Anusuya. So when bhakti comes, our envy for Krishna or his devotees goes away. And when it comes, what happens? Jnanam Vijnanam Sahitam. It comes not only with knowledge. What's the difference between Jnana and Vijnan? We have read it in 7th chapter as well, if you remember, 7.2. I think I have it here. 7.2. Jnanam Teham Savijnanam Idam Vaksham Asheshita. So we read these 2 words. We read in 6th chapter as well. So someone can say, what's the meaning of Jnana Vijnan?
Gyan,
Knowledge, Vigyan is the realized knowledge.
Thank you. Gyan is theoretical knowledge. Vigyan more. Akhand Rasa Prabhu was saying something else.
Gyan is actually also, you can call it academic knowledge.
Yes. Theoretical knowledge. Yes. More.
Vigyan is
scholarly people.
Applied knowledge, the application side of the knowledge.
Applied, realized knowledge. More.
The real knowledge that is there.
The real knowledge. Yes. We don't want just the Gyan, we don't want just the theory. Prabhupada says application is the key. We have to apply this now. Whatever we are studying, we have to apply. We will fail, that's all right. But slowly and gradually, we will get uplifted. What's the other meaning of Gyan Vigyan we should read in the 7th chapter?
Bona fide knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. We are talking bona fide knowledge only. That is fine.
Numinous.
Krishna's Aishwarya Gyan and Madhurya Gyan. Please remember that. So Gyan is the also can refer to, not necessarily. Now the meaning will change, obviously. We have to take the context. So Krishna's Gyan means Aishwarya Gyan, how great Krishna is. And Vigyan means how sweet Krishna is, how sweet. So this chapter will start from the greatness of Krishna to the sweetness of Krishna. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. What do you call it? Is this the greatness of Krishna? A great person, how do you please a great person? If you have to please your friend, very rich person, do you give her iPhone 2, Mohit Prabhu, or iPhone 12? You'll give him iPhone 12 or 2. He or she is very rich person. You want to please him. What do you want to do? Give him iPhone 2? She will throw it at your face.
14 too. iPhone 14.
14, okay. Mohit Prabhu,
the new one.
I am not. So iPhone 14. Mohit Prabhu will give iPhone 14. So Priya Mataji, your iPhone 14 is reserved now. Yeah,
I don't use iPhone, Prabhu.
Oh, Krishna, you use another higher phone. Huh? We don't even know the company. Anyway, if we want to please a rich person, we have to give a rich gift. Now, Krishna is the richest. He is not just the MLA, MP. Now, these elections are going on. Even one, what is his name? Tim James or something. Huh? He was standing on the door when I went for meeting. I said, wow, keval aaj face dikhayega. Only today you will show your face. And after you win or you don't win, you will never show your face to the public. Huh? And he's standing and he's shaking hands with everyone. I'm like, okay, all these things. So when a person becomes rich, his demands, his expectations grow. But Krishna, being the richest person, what is he asking? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Give me a leaf, a water. You will get bewildered. This is called sweetness of Krishna. Huh? So we'll start from Aishwarya to the sweetness. Apiche sudaracharo bhajte mam ananyabhaka. No matter how sinful you were, it doesn't matter. If you are involved in my bhakti, I accept you. I love you. You'll get reformed. Don't worry. So much sweetness of Krishna is being given. So Krishna is saying Jnanam Vijnanam Sahitam. And Sahitam word is very important because if you have only Jnan and no Vijnan, will you be successful devotee? Will be a good devotee? You have a lot of knowledge in your head. In India, you see a lot of people who speak very scholarly classes. But at home, Lal Govind Prabhu tells, they go and tell their wife to put double pyaj in their sabji. In chauka. They will give class that no pyaj should be taken. And when they go home, double pyaj. For my sabji, you should put double onion. Like that. And they have other aspects of their life as well. Prabhupada said, for a hermit, for a sage, there is no private life. Huh? There is no private life. His life is public life. My Guru Maharaj wrote a book called The Public Hermit. Huh? The book title was Public Hermit. He's a public servant. Huh? In India, they call it ISPC's public servant. But you never see them. But here you see sannyasis. They are the real public servant. They are doing the real seva of public. Day and night, they are involved in the seva of the humanity, of the society. So Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. And once you get this, apply this knowledge, what will happen? After the application of this knowledge, Yajagyatva means after knowing that Moksha refers to here, be liberated. Liberated from what? Ashubha. The word is not Shubha, it's Ashubha because this is combined together. Called Ashubha. Liberated from the miserable material existence. Huh? So liberated. Now, this liberation obviously does not refer to you will die and go to Brahman or something. It refers to Jivan Mukta. Your anarthas will go away and your sweetness, your love, your real love for Krishna and to the whole world who is the children of Krishna will manifest. You look at, say Radhanath Maharaj, I'm just remembering in my head and so many. He looks like a real lover of the humanity, real lover of humanity. Huh? You can see in his speech, in his actions, he has like nothing else in his heart except love. Huh? You just see him, you hear him speaking, you feel coolness and calmness, and then he talks the real thing. Huh? And so many examples like that. So moksha says we get liberated from all the ashubha. Now ashubha also mean ashubha, inauspicious, huh? Amangal, and there's a word in Sanskrit, amangal. Mangal bhavan, amangal hari. When you come in touch with Lord Ram, what happens? All the amangal, inauspiciousness of your life goes away. And what is the inauspiciousness in our life? Lack of money, lack of a good car, lack of bank balance. That's inauspiciousness, right? Huh? Jamati Mataji?
I'm saying forgetting Krishna is...
Forgetting Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Forgetting Krishna. Rai Ramanan is speaking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the most miserable thing for a devotee? Rai Ramanan says, forgetfulness of Krishna. So what is the only inauspicious thing in our life? And that obviously makes so many other inauspiciousness. The bottom line is forgetting Krishna. And because we forget Krishna, we become lusty, greedy, angry, envy, and all these anarthas which come in our heart. And then we do different actions by words, by our mouth, in our mind, which are inauspicious for us, so which gives inauspicious results. Yehi sansparcha bhoga dukha yona evte adyantavanta konte na te shuramte buddhaha. So we will come out of this inauspiciousness, which is forgetfulness of Krishna, because we have Gyan and Vigyan of Krishna. And how you will achieve it? What's the qualification? Anusuyave. Have no envy. Now, what's the practical help which our acharyas have explained to get rid of envy? Anyone can say in 1 or 2 lines. It's a whole topic in itself. 1 or 2 main lines which you can remember in our life. How to get rid of envy? We don't like a devotee, for example. How to get rid of that envious attitude, not liking attitude, disliking attitude towards that person?
To serve him.
Serve and glorify the devotee.
Serve and glorify. Thank you. Now it has to be genuine. It has to be genuine. And also we have to remember we are not Uttamadhikari. We are Kanishta. Some of you may be Madhyama. Most of us are in Kanishta. not even that level. You may think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. In 11th canto of Bhagavad Gita, you can read the discussion, Nimi Maharaj and Navayogendras. You'll understand. Kanishta Adhikari actually is a very high level, very, very high level. Anyway, so if you are in Madhyama or Kanishta level, so we should not serve in an artificial way, because if you serve in an artificial way, what will happen? Your envy will increase. Your frustration will increase. So you have to become a higher to serve lower. You cannot be lower and serve higher. What you will do? You will inculcate his or her qualities. So it should not be done artificially. We have to read Shastra, get the blessings of devotee, and then you serve in your capacity, glorify in your capacity. And then slowly you will see envy going out of your heart, and you will start real appreciation for that person. But it will take time. It will not happen overnight, and we should not jump. Rupa Goswami actually says you should meet with Sajatiya devotee, means like-minded devotee. If you always sit with the dislike-minded devotees, what will happen? Your bhakti lata may get destroyed, because they will discourage you. You'll see in temples as well. You know, some devotees you get along very, very well. Some devotees like Hare Krishna. Some devotees like, okay, can I go on the other side of the room? So if we analyze our own life, we'll see. So we like to sit with like-minded devotee, but like-mindedness should not be based on, if I'm a critical person, he is also critical, and let's sit together and criticize another 3 people. No, like-minded shouldn't be on the basis of Krishna. I want to become a devotee. This person also wants to become devotee. Let's sit and discuss about what lecture did you hear this week? What part of Bhagavatam did you read? And inspire each other. I read this part. I heard this part. Let's talk about that. Jare dekho tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. Not Swa upadesh, not Parupadesh. Krishna upadesh. Krishna upadesh, Krishna upadesh. The only time we can talk about others is how to serve them. 100 devotees are going to come in this festival. How are we going to serve them? Mohit Prabhu, planning for Ram Navami, Janmashtami, and not sure how many festivals right now. Because he knows he needs to serve, and he needs a lot of planning and a lot of preparation needs to be done. So obviously that time we can talk. Okay, Ujjwala Mataji or Akhanda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, sometimes you are in a situation that, you are sitting with some devotee and there is some criticism going on, and you don't want to be part of that. So how can one tactfully convey that, or what should be done?
Okay, so there are many methods, but general point is respectfully leave, not unrespectfully. We should not quit our culture. We should be a cultural person. Hare Krishna, I have to go or something. And many times the one trick which I think Maharaj said, or some devotee said, he said, Prabhu, I think I have taken a lot of your time. When he's taking your time, you may have other sevas to do, I'll let you go. We'll talk some other time. One of the tricks. There are many tricks, but respectfully leave. How you leave, that may be a detailed question, but respectfully leave that devotee. And if it's not like-minded, he's chanting 16 out, but some devotees are like Kshatriya, some devotees are like Vaishya. You just don't want to be with them in their and that's fine. And it's not wrong to not be with them, because I don't want to get affected by them. I want to be with them who are sincere, who want to become seriously Krishna conscious, not unseriously. Many devotees come for show off. That's fine. That's their business between them and Krishna. No criticism, but I would like to sit with them. Like, in any company you go or any class you go, you'll find some devotees will be very sincere, some will be very insincere, and some will be in the middle. So we should make sure we sit with those 10% who are very sincere. Even if we don't like, we should sit with them, because they will always talk about Krishna. They will purify the heart. If we sit with the other party, the medium or the lower range, what will happen? We'll become insincere, because we are already insincere. I am. So if you sit with another insincere person, what will happen? Some of the qualities may be exchanged. And that is not what we want. So we exchange qualities with the Uttam Adhikari, with a higher person. And then some of our blue ink will get out, because they will constantly glorify Krishna, or their devotees will talk about Krishna. They will inspire you. You never come for Mangalarti. Prabhuji, you can come for one Mangalarti. Ram Navami is coming. We should all go for Mangalarti. Prabhu, I live too far. But oh, Prabhu, I live far than you. I can pick you, Prabhuji. So there's so many things. I've seen devotees doing it. Harish Prabhu was just here. No, he's not here. He came for Mangalarti in Kartik Mas. Complete 1 month. Like 2 years or 3 years, something like that. In another year, he, I think, missed out 1 or 2 Mangalartis, but he came. He lives like 45 kilometers something away. He has 2 small kids. no questions asked and no glorification done. He's not here, and then I can say comfortably, he's like that. He's a man of action, not just the words. So I'm saying one example, and there's so many other examples as well. So we should try to sit with them, and they will inspire us. Rupam Prabhu also comes sometime, and many other devotees as well. Anyway, we should all come, especially on the festival days. The mercy is lot there, and we should try. Okay, 9.2. Lost the screen actually.
It's a verse to remember, Prabhu.
Verse to remember. Here we are, Rupam Prabhu.
This chapter has the highest number of verses.
Highest number. Okay, so Prabhu, you can do this.
7 verses.
I'll give you the glories.
7, yeah.
Prabhu already prepared for the exam.
50% of the verses are from this chapter.
15.
Yeah, out of 16, there's 7 there.
Hare Krishna. Giving all the stats.
Scaring people.
Okay, let's read the verse and see what's inside the verse. Rupam Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam
Vidya Rajaguhyam
Pavitram Idam Uttamam
Pavitram Idam Uttamam
Pratyakshava Gamam Dharmyam
Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam
Susukham Kartum Vyayam Susukham Kartum Vyayam
Susukham Kartum Avyayam.
This translation, this knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is the joyfully performed.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
So this is one of the very important verses, as Rupam Prabhu also said, key verses to remember for exam. And also, this verse gives the glories of this knowledge. There are 7 points mentioned in this particular verse. Now, if you have read Prabhupada purport, beautiful purport, quite long, and he's going through every single sort of word, each characteristic of the glorification of this knowledge, and he's explaining it. So I'll try to do a little summary of what I have read from Prabhupada purport and what I have heard from others. So the first thing is Raja Vidya. What does Raja Vidya mean? Everyone knows these 2 words, Raj Vidya. So Vidya refers to knowledge, and Raj means refer to Raja. This is king of knowledge. So king of knowledge can refer to, of all the knowledge, this is the best knowledge. So there are different types of knowledge in this material world. Someone is, I can see some accountants are here, some engineers are here, some bankers are here, some IT people are there. So different people have different type of knowledge in their particular field, and they may excel that knowledge. But out of all the fields of knowledge, which is the best knowledge? In 10th chapter, we'll read, I can't remember the verse. Krishna says, out of all the knowledge, I am Adhyatma Vidya. I am Adhyatma Vidya. So he's basically talking about his vibhutis. So there he says, of all the Vidyas, I am Adhyatma Vidya. So he's saying this Vidya, this knowledge. What is this knowledge? Knowledge about knowing Krishna and serving Krishna. After knowing Krishna, you serve Krishna. You would like to serve Krishna. As His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj said many times, people know God is great, but we don't know how great God is. Once you know how great God is, you have nothing else except to serve him and love him and serve him. When you know this person loves me so much, I'm getting mindful of some Hindi movies, actresses will see, oh, this hero loves me so much, and then she starts loving this person. So a mundane example, but it works. If you show so much love to another person, even if he doesn't love you, he'll start loving you, because this person has so much love and so much sort of attitude of sacrifice for the person. So when we know how much love Krishna does to us, we'll also start loving him. At the moment, we don't know how much Krishna loves us. And that's why we are reading, to know a little bit of his love for the living entity, how much love our Father does for us. So this is Raj Vidya. Another meaning of Raj Vidya is, this is the Vidya for Rajas. This is the knowledge for the kings. Anyone remembers another verse in Bhagavad Gita which talks a similar point? Mataji knows that verse.
Chapter 4, bro. Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, yep. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. Raj Rishi. The word Raj Rishi was used. What does Raj Rishi mean? Raja who is a Rishi. Raja means a king who is a sage. So internally he is a sage, externally he is a king. So that is very, very important. So this Vidya is for kings. Now you say, oh, this Vidya is only for kings. What about the other classes of men? So it says Brahmans is the one who gives the knowledge. Brahmans gives the knowledge. I was listening some lecture on the Google, you get another lectures as well. So His Holiness Bhakti Rasayan Maharaji recently gave a class. I have not heard it as yet, but I saw the poster of it in Google, in YouTube. It says, influence the influenciers. So influence those people who influence the society. Bhakti Rasayan Maharaj is very good in that. He's always like teaching to the cream of the society. Prabhupada also did that. He teaches the cream of the society, because if you teach the cream, what will happen? Others will also follow. If a cricketer, if I'm not wrong, I saw one clip in WhatsApp, Virat Kohli, if I'm not wrong, he has some beard. I don't know his name, but someone sent me a clip. He said he was glorifying, I'm becoming a vegetarian, so you should also become vegetarian. I can't remember who. Anyway, so what I'm saying, if he becomes vegetarian, so many of his followers, without even arguing, will become vegetarian. If one actress has become a vegan, some celebrity becomes a vegan, many of their followers will automatically fall into that. So the leaders of the society have to be preached, It's not we are doing biased against the rich people or something. Not like that. We are using our intelligence. If we preach the upper class, what will happen? Lower class will automatically follow. So very important to preach to this high class people. Not that low class should be ignored, but prioritization should be done where possible. So Raj Vidya is a king, is a knowledge for the kings, because what Brahmana does, Brahmana gives the knowledge, but who implements the knowledge? The Rajas will implement, isn't it? If the Raja is not, the Brahmana cannot implement. He is not the ruler. King is the ruler, and king is the one who can influence the whole society. So if the king gives the right knowledge, what will happen is he's a Raj Rishi. In the mind, he's like a Rishi, and he gives knowledge, he implements the policies. Like I was talking the election, if this person is a devotee, for example, Mr. Tim or whoever, then he will influence a large section of the society based on his power and position, which will benefit people, Now, he can do in a right way or in a wrong way. But the point is, Raj Vidya is very, very important. That's why the kings were trained very nicely. Even the children of the kings will go to the Gurukul, and he will live exactly same way as another children of a Vaishya or a Brahmana. They will sleep on the floor, they will serve Guru, they will go for wood cutting in the jungle. Krishna went, Sandipani Muni Ashram, he was doing all the same activities. Even, he's a king's son, Sudama is a Brahman's son, so Sudama will do more hard work than the king's son. Nowadays, it happens in our schools. You'll see, all the king's son will be sitting like that, they will pass the exam. All the servants are serving him. No, that's not the way. So Raja Vidya. Second point, Raja Guhyam. It is the top secret. What's the top secret? Bhagavad Gita as it is open to the whole world. Any ideas why this knowledge is top secret? So when you talk about this top secret, it's not top secret in terms of reading or accessing this website. It's a top secret in terms of realization. So Krishna says, we sing this Guru Aarti every day. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Can you buy Divya in Kohl's or Woolies anywhere? $40 on discount, $80 full price, and half price. Now we do get half price sale in Kartik when you go to Vrindavan. Definitely half price, even less than that. So each round is considered like 1,000 rounds. Now Purushottam Mass is coming from 18th of July. It says each round is considered 10,000 rounds. We should all be chanting 32 rounds at least every day. Because this is a sale going on, honestly. For those 10,000 rounds, you only have to chant one round. Now, somewhere it's not as gross as I'm explaining, but the point is unlimited benefits are achieved. So, Rajguya refers to the Gyan which is manifested in the heart. And now Krishna will manifest in everyone's heart, in everyone's and anyone's heart. Would you like to manifest in anyone's heart? I don't. So if we don't want to manifest in everyone's heart, then why Krishna will also although he resides in everyone's heart, but he does not manifest. Manifest means he manifests, and when you hear, so it says super soul resides in everyone's heart. How many people listen to the super soul? Be honest, very few. And even us listen super soul sometimes. When we are too tired, we'll not listen to Super Soul. Let's go for Manglarti. Let's go for Manglarti. Super Soul ji, can we go tomorrow? Today I'm really tired. Somebody would just call Mataji, Prabhuji, can you please come and serve? Prabhuji, not today. I have to go home. Super soul is calling, please come for Mangala Aarti, please do this activity, please. Now, we are not unlimited, I'm not saying that, but the point is many times, if it is our comfort zone, we do that seva. If it is not our comfort zone, Prabhuji, kal karenge, we'll do it tomorrow. Something like that. Huh? So it should not always be like that, positive or negative. So Rajagayam refers to the manifestation of the knowledge. Now, if you show Krishna, you're interested in Krishna, Krishna will manifest in your heart. Krishna will send Guru, Krishna will send devotee, Krishna will send so many types of help to you so you can come closer to Krishna. And then you will realize Krishna in your heart. Huh? That is Rajagayam. Pavitram idam uttamam. So this is uttam knowledge. Huh? Uttama. What's the meaning of uttama? You can break the word. Uttama. Tama means astoma jyotirgamaye. So tama refers to darkness of this world. Darkness of the material world. Tama also refers to mrityu, death. So this knowledge will make you deathless. This knowledge will uplift you, uplift your consciousness, will bring you closer towards Lord, closer towards eternity. It purifies you. It purifies you. As we were talking, when we entered the temple 10, 15 years ago, how many years ago? Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he's on a jet plane. He entered 2 years ago, something like that. He's flying in jet plane. He's still touching the high heights very, very fast. So some people are like that, not always. Going 20 years, almost the same. But it purifies. It purifies. We're talking about the example of anger. We're not able to control the anger fully, but we can control up to an extent. That's purification. We feel the purification. When you go to temple, listen a good class, good kirtan, you perform some seva. Do you feel peaceful in your heart or agitated in your heart? We have all experienced just by doing a simple seva for Krishna, just standing on the door saying Hare Krishna to devotees, cutting some vegetables, simple sevas we do. We feel very satisfied and peaceful in our Mangala Aarti. What do? You go and stand in front of the deities with devotees. Do you feel peaceful? I bet everyone will say, this is the best time of my day. All you have done, just went there and stood in front of the deities. That's all you have done. You haven't done any physical activity, you haven't paid any money or anything. You feel peaceful and so good. While we are standing on Mangala Aarti and singing Sansar Davan, what do we think? Kal zarur aayenge. But when the Aarti finishes, you come in your car. Oh, I'm so tired. Will come later. But while you are there, it inspires your heart. It purifies. It purifies the anarthas from our heart. Now the next point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pratyakshaavagamam. Pratyakshaavagamam is it is directly experienced. So devotion service is not which you cannot experience yourself. Someone is telling there is a electron, neutron, there's a God particle, you need to have this and that. Devotional service is directly experienced by you. That's why Prabhupada called this is a science. This is not just a theoretical knowledge, it's a science. When you go to temple, you feel some difference in your heart. When you serve Krishna, you feel difference. When you chant Hare Krishna, when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you feel a difference in your heart. Dharmyam, this is the topmost dharma. So we have different dharmas. Anyone can say what sort of dharmas we have generally? How many dharmas we have? All of us sitting here, male, female, old, young, doesn't matter. We all have 2 dharmas.
Paradharma, aparadharma.
Thank you. What does paradharma mean?
Which is material.
No, para is para. Paraya.
Para is which
beyond.
Dharma.
Para is
the soul.
Dharma. And apara is lower dharma.
Lower.
So we all have our bodily dharma. We can be a husband or wife or a kid or a student, whatever. That's all paradharma. And that's all valid. Sorry, that's aparadharma. Aparadharma is short-term dharma. Belong to the body. Based on your bodily situation, you have a particular duty which you are supposed to do, definitely. But there is a paradharma. Besides this body, you are a soul. I was listening to a lecture and I heard Draupadi is a sakha of Krishna, is in a male form, in a spiritual world. So Draupadi is in a male form. But when we come to the material world, she's in a female form. She still calls Krishna as a sakha, but she has a male form. So in the material world, she will have a dharma to follow her husbands, for example. And obviously, they're all pure devotees. But in that body, she may have some dharma. But in the spiritual world, she has a different dharma for Krishna. She's a sakha. She's a friend of Krishna. She has a male form. She's an eternal associate of Krishna. she or he, I should rather say. So that soul is a eternal associate of Krishna. So dharmyam. So this dharma, the dharma of bhakti, is the supreme dharma. Susukhum kartum. Kartum means to do. And while it's performed joyfully. And as we were discussing, any activity of devotion which we do brings joy in our heart. I was hearing one memorial of my Guru Maharaj in Vrindavan, and Shruti Kirti Prabhu, who's a Prabhupada disciple, very, very nice person, very nice preacher as well. So he was telling one thing about Maharaj, which I really liked. He said, I didn't have much physical association of Kadam Kanan Maharaj, but I can say one thing about him. And what did he say? He said, Prabhupada taught us, if you are a good devotee, if you're a perfect devotee, you'll always be joyful. And he says, whoever is joyful, I'm talking genuinely here, joyful, that means he's a good devotee. He's ticking all the boxes. Prabhu said, he's ticking all the boxes. What he's supposed to do, he's doing. And he said, I have seen Kadambakanan Maharaj always joyful. And we can see, huh? He's always joyful. Reminds me of things that he was ticking all the boxes. He was a perfect devotee. I really liked it, huh? How he's sort of taking the other way, huh? Because he is happy, he must be a good devotee, huh? Now, this is not a fake happiness. We cannot fake our happiness for a long time, huh? We can fake for some people for some time. We cannot fake for all the people all the time, huh? But you see, these sannyasis, they are just ever joyful, and they had so much in their head. I mean, I also came to know many new things about my own Guru Maharaj after his departure from different devotees' mouth. He had so much. I was remembering all those years when he will come here and, we'll talk about some very insignificant thing, relatively insignificant thing. But he will never express what the major thing going on the other part of the world. And we'll just come down to our level and participate in our small discussions. Huh? But he had so many things going on in his head, very, very major, significant things for the whole world. But they don't sort of express, I'm very disturbed today. I'm in a lot of tension. Don't talk to me, huh? Sometime when we come home, we tell our family, don't talk to me today, huh? We're in a lot of tension. And imagine their tensions. And they come and they still talk on our level. They talk about our problems. And they sort of try to guide us in our own little way. So, susukhum kartam apyam. So, devotional service should bring joy. And if it is not bringing joy, then who is wrong? We are wrong, or devotional service is wrong? I think this process doesn't work. Who is wrong? If it is not bringing susukha, sometimes bring dukha, frustration. We become upset after a meeting. Gauranga Prabhu was saying, we start Ishta Goshti and then it ends with Mushta Goshti. So we start with Hare Krishna Prabhuji, how are you? And at the end of the class or meeting, you see one brahmachari sitting on top of another with a fist in his hand. How dare you say that? Huh? How can you do that? You have to follow what my opinion is. Huh? So that's not devotional service. Huh? That's all mixed. That's all mixed. So devotional service is joyfully performed. Avyayam, and this is everlasting. Right? It is everlasting. So even if you chant one name of Hare Krishna or Hare or Ram, even while sleeping or while sneezing, while sleeping, do you think it's everlasting? Or it's just a mundane name comes to your tongue? Huh? Sometimes what's the name? One devotee was telling, and Mataji devotee, before marriage, I used to say, Mama, if I slip, if I get a cut, Mommy. After marriage, my husband taught me, she said, my husband taught me to say Krishna. Don't say Mama, say Krishna. Anything happened. Now she said, I just by default, every time you say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And you really, if you analyze yourself, how many Krishna you say, just like accidentally, you're in the kitchen, something, the doodh is boiling, the milk is, oh, Krishna. You'll run towards the milk and chanting Krishna. Hey, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. We are getting sort of upset. This person not listening. Hey, Haribol, listen to me. But we don't get upset. We say, Haribol, that means anytime, in any form and shape, in any consciousness, we chant Hare Krishna, it gives us everlasting benefits. This is so beautiful. So what are the 7 points here? Raj Vidya, Raj Guyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam, directly experience. Someone doesn't have to tell you, you experience it. Dharmyam, topmost dharma, Susukham Kartum, it is joyfully performed and it is everlasting. Okay. Now, please read Prabhupada purport if you haven't done it. Beautiful story of Narad Muni Prabhupada has given. 1.1.5, 1.525 Prabhupada is giving. So how normally became joyful by serving those sages. And Prabhupada also writes here, Nectar of Devotion, this famous verse, Apararabdha Phalam Papam. So it's talking about how many four types of sinful activities which we sort of carry forward, they get destroyed. Karmadev Praliyate Vishnu Bhakti Arthapanam. So Karmadev gradually, doesn't happen overnight in one button. Karmadev Praliyate means they get annihilated. Vishnu Bhakti Arthapanam. Whoever is Ratatmanam, who is engaged in the bhakti of Vishnu, all these sinful tendencies we have, prarabdha phal we have, aprarabdha phal we have, beach good form, anything gets destroyed. So we should get involved in the bhakti of Vishnu or Krishna. Okay, we'll move to the next one, the last verse in this section, 9.3. Who wants to read? Priya Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nine 9.3. Also. Sorry if I get incorrectly the pronunciation. Ashradhana Purusha
Ashradhana Purusha
Dharmasyascha Parantapa
Dharmasyasya Parantapa
Aprapyamam Nivartante
Prapyamam Nivartante
Mrityu Samsara Vartmani.
Mrityu Samsara Vartmani.
Translation: those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So now 9.1 and 2 talked about the glories of the knowledge, and obviously that requires some faith. Now Krishna talks the third verse. What's the result of the faithless people? Now, anyone remembers the same sort of theme being discussed in earlier chapters? In 340 and 340. Huh?
Chapter 7 also, people are not come to Krishna, not come to Krishna.
Yeah, as far as I remember, maybe 7th chapter, probably not. 3rd chapter, they discuss 40 and 41st verse, if I'm not wrong. So they discuss what happens, the destination of the faithful and destination of the less people. I think similar thing was done in 4th chapter, and now similar thing is done in 9.2 and 9.3. So faithful people, they susukum kartamapya, all that. Now 9. Ashraddhana. Ashraddhana means one who does not have Shraddha, in whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ashraddhana Purusha, Dharma Sasya, and not in the religion. Religion means the process, the path, which you're not talking about Hindu Muslim religion here. We're talking the path which is being told here. And Prabhupada writes, those who are not faithful in this devotional service. So what is the result of this faithlessness? Aprapyamam. So the first result is aprapyamam. They will not achieve me. They will not achieve me. Krishna cannot be achieved if you don't have faith in Krishna. What do you speak of achieving Krishna? Can you visit your neighbor if you don't have faith in him, or he doesn't have faith in you? You both have to have faith in each other, isn't it? Then only you can achieve some relation. Some good relation. If you don't have faith, like, okay, you happy in your house, I'm happy in my house. Aprapyamam. Rather, what happens? So one law says aprapyamam, they will not achieve me. Nivartante. Nivartante refers to come back. Where they will come back? Mrityu sansar is sansar, this sansar in this particular world where mrityu is prevailing. Mrityu is definite truth. It says everything is uncertain in this world except one thing. You know what is certain? Death. Jamati Mata said, death is certain. We should be very positive about it. It's not a negative statement. Positive means that's going to happen. And that gives actually a proper encouragement how to deal with life. Because that's going to happen, right? If you have been told whatever money you will earn, whatever degrees, PhDs you will earn, you can carry forward in your next life. People will start working double. I'm telling you. Right now you have some encouragement, sab chodna hai. We have to leave everything. Okay, so just do the minimal, whatever is needed. That's fine. But if I can carry forward, that will be nice. I don't know where I will be born in next birth. Maybe some in a small poor country. Maybe carry $1 million from this birth. If you sort of tell people some sort of this insurance, afterlife insurance, they will put so much money, but they will not put faith in Krishna. They will put money on this premiums. So, Mrityu Sansara Vartmani. Vartmani refers to path. we have Vartma Pradashak Guru. Huh? Vartma Pradashak Guru means the one who shows the path. And then we have Siksha Guru, then we have Diksha Guru, then we have Chatti Guru. So 4 types of gurus are there. Vartma Pradashak Guru, Diksha Guru, Siksha Guru, and then Chatti Guru. Chatti Guru is the super soul. So, Mrityu Sansar Vartmani, you will come on the path of this Sansara, which is cycle of birth and death. So, Ashadadhana Kusha. Now, in this purport, I was reading it. Prabhupada beautifully describes how we should have faith in Krishna. I would like to read this. Very nice Prabhupada has written. The faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. Ashadadhana. That is the purport of this verse. Faith is created by association with devotees. So how do we get this extra faith? Sometimes people say, I don't have enough faith. So how do you get faith? Association of devotees. You know, you have to get the petrol in your car. Where do you go? Petrol station. So where do you get faith? And if you, sorry, a wrong example, you want to become drunkard, where do you go? A bar, where lots of drunkards are there. Just by seeing them one day again and again, you will become a drunkard. So if you associate with drunkards, you become a drunkard. If you associate with devotees, you'll become a devotee. So faith is created by the association of devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. Any examples anyone can remember? Even after hearing from great personality, this person did not have faith. Duryodhan. Duryodhan was seeing
Ravan. Kamsa. He is listening from Narad Muni many times.
Kamsa, Duryodhan, very prominent example. Even Vyasadev came, Atri Rishi came, Bhishma Pitama, Vidura. Even Krishna personally came and spoke with him. Sometimes you say, I want to have darshan of Krishna. What are you going to have darshan of Krishna? You can't have darshan of Krishna because you don't have eyes to see Krishna. It says even if Krishna comes in front of you right now, you cannot have darshan of Krishna because you just don't have eyes. So Bhakti Maharaj said, don't try to see Krishna, try to do activities by which Krishna tries to see you. It's a very high level, but the point is correct. Krishna came in front of Duryodhan. Krishna came in front of Jarasan? Yes or no? Krishna came in front of Shishupal? Yes or no? Narad Muni came in front of Ravana. He preached to Raman. Shivaji came and he's such a Mahajan. Ravan could not be preached. So it's not when Krishna will give me darshan. It's not when I will be ready to take darshan of Krishna. Krishna can give darshan right now, but we are not ready. We are not ready for that. So we need to become ready for the darshan of Krishna. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in devotion service of the Lord. Thus, faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Sudrida Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krat Hoya. The same translation Prabhupada is giving is a complete conviction that simply by serving Supreme Lord Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith. And Prabhupada gives a lot of explanation. He talks about Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Kanishadhikari, all based on faith. So faith is the key in developing Krishna consciousness. And how do you sort of generate more faith? By sitting with those people, by associating with those people who have a lot of faith. Suppose someone has, 90% faith in Krishna. We have 9% faith of Krishna. When we sit in with those associations, will we get extra faith? Definitely. We can see them. We can talk to them. We can ask some questions. We can clarify our doubts. Now, if you have 9% faith and if you sit with another person who has 1% faith, what will happen? You may start achieving his other faith. Because if he has 1% faith in Krishna, 99% faith is material energy. So if you associate with them too closely, what may happen? Instead of you giving them association, you start getting their association. So what they have predominantly 99% material world in their talk, in their discussion. So all the rubbish will go in our mind. And when we come home, in front of him, we'll be very devotee. When we come home, actually one more property, doesn't matter. Maybe I can try. He can help me to get the loan. Now again, for Krishna conscious, pure Krishna conscious purpose, there's no problem with the properties and the money. I'm not against that. But the point is, don't get diversified with these things a lot. Whatever minimum is needed, whatever minimum needed for the service of Krishna, we do that in this material world, and rest of the time and focus, we give full time to Krishna. Okay, Rupam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I was just wondering this shloka, and if you try to reconcile this with 6.41 and 42, where we talked about yogis who are in the path of devotional service and then they, for some reason, couldn't continue. This is two different things, right? This is talking about a faithless person, whereas
yes,
that one is for you.
Your journey is already continued. Yeah. They stopped on 40%, for example. They'll start from 40% next birth. But here you're talking about faithless. They don't have faith. They're not on the journey at all. Like if you remember Prabhu, Namam Duskritana Muda Prapadante Naradama Mahya Pradgana Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Asuram Bhavam translation was atheistic people. They're atheistic. They're anti-theistic. Their whole existence is for why Rupam Prabhu is a devotee. I will make him a non-devotee. Their whole existence is for that. So they are called faithless people. Huh? They will neither be a devotee nor let you do the devotion.
Right.
In Hindi, I'll say one thing, and there are 4 types of devotee. Asli devotee. Asli means real devotee. They are devotee all the time. And there's some called fasli. Fasli means when the crop comes, they will become devotee. When the season of devotion, they'll also go to devotee communication, and they say, actually, I'm also a devotee. Huh? Asli, fasli, and they are nakli. Nakli means they will just show up. So firstly, sometimes they will become devotee. Huh? Sometimes when the bad weather is there, you go to Krishna and say, Krishna, please give me some extra money. Please get rid of this health problem and whatever. They are firstly. Nakli means they just show off. Because devotees respect them. Aaj free feast hai. Chalo chalenge. And with tilak they will go with tilak. And nice dress as well. Look like Gopas or Gopis are coming. Huh? They will look literally like a devotee. They will have beads in their hand. They will never touch the beads outside temple. In the temple, they will have beads in their hand. They're talking nonsense. And they're called nakli devotees. And the last one is dakhli. Dakhli means dakhal karte hain. Na khud karenge na aapko karne denge. Neither they will perform devotion nor they will let you perform the devotion. And we see a lot of dakhlis are there. Naklis are also there. Oh, so many fake devotees are, sorry to say. Not that we are being proud here, but we are saying our ultimate goal is not fake. Ultimate goal is real. Now we are in the process of getting refined. But nothing are there.
So it's the last 3 categories, Prabhu.
Whatever you want to call it. Last 2 are very dangerous. Nakli devotees and dakhli devotees. You be very aware of them. Even in temple, I'm telling you. Even we should be in the community. We should go for asli devotee. This is like a all feather devotee. When the problem came, he was a devotee. When the good time was, he was a devotee. He's trying to improve his devotion day and night. Whatever his capacity, he may be a squirrel, gallery, chalega. He may not be Hanuman. He's a real devotee. Go after them, and then you will also become a real devotee. But nakli and dakhli, there are a lot in our society as well. Sorry. So we should stay. Gauranga Prabhu was saying there are so many of them. So many, everyone, tilak, kanthi, mala, initiation as well. They will never talk about Krishna. They will never want to become a devotee, actually. They just want to show off with their dresses, with their malas, with their initiation as well. Initiation means becoming a disciple. I was listening on lecture, saying disciple means who is in discipline. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, who had thousands of disciples, once was asked this question. So how many disciples do you have? He said, right now I have 4. My 2 hands and 2 legs. Because they listen me. Other disciples, they will listen or no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So disciple means you are in discipline of your guru. If you are not, you should not be calling yourself a disciple. You are initiated. Initiated means the journey has begun. Are you a disciple? That's a big question. It's a big question. We should try to become disciple, not initiated. Initiation is easy. But being a disciple, it's very, very difficult. So we should try to become disciple. And Guru never makes disciple. As Bhakti Siddhanta had thousands of disciples saying, I have no disciples. I have only 2 hands and legs, and they also follow me right now. Tomorrow my hand may get paralysis. One disciple is gone. He will not listen me. Even if I want to, he will shake. What do you call that? Parkinson. So what sort of disciple this is? And he has many disciples always shaking, not doing anything, useless. So we should not try to become just initiated. All of us, we should try to become disciple. And that is initiation or not so-called formal initiation. No, that really doesn't matter. Try to serve Prabhupada from the heart. And then you are a disciple of Prabhupada. Although formalities are important, I'm not against it. They are important, but they are not all in all. They are not all in all. All in all is our attitude, our mind, our impressions in our heart. Okay. So 2 benefits, sort of disbenefits, Krishna has said, aprapyamam and mrityu samsara. Now let's go to the 4th verse. Now 4 to 10, Krishna is talking about his relationship with the world. So let's talk 9.4. Raghavi Mataji, would you like to do, if Madhav allows you?
Or still remember, bro.
Hari bol. पहले से ही डरा देते मोहित प्रभु.
Sorry, bro, I'll try. Maya tattam idham sarvam.
Maya tatam idam sarvam.
Jagat avyakta murtina.
Jagat avyakta murtina.
Matsthani sarva bhutani.
Matsthani sarva bhutani.
Nacha aham tesva avastitaha.
Nacha aham tesva avastitaha.
Translation. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them.
Thank you, Mataji. So Maya, so it's not Maya, it's Maya. So Maya and Maya, you understand the difference. So Maya will be me and Maya will be my energy, Krishna's energy. So Maya Tatam, so there's no sort of line over A. So Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam. So Sarvam is combined to be with Jagat. So I am manifested in this Jagat. How? Avyakta Murtina. So Avyakta refers to, so Vyakta and Avyakta, so person and imperson. So I am pervaded in this word, idam jagat. How? In my unmanifested form. So Prabhupada writes, by me, which is Maya, in my unmanifested form, which is Avyakta Murtina, this entire universe is pervaded. Sarvam jagat. So I am pervaded in this whole jagat by my unmanifested form. So you can talk about it as a Brahma Jyoti or as the energy of Krishna. Either translation is correct. Baldev Devusha says that. So either translation is okay. So Brahma Jyoti, so everything is situated under Krishna's energy, right? You can say that everything in the world is Krishna's energy. Even in atom, the smallest atom, the smallest jiva, that's the energy of Krishna, right? So Krishna is pervaded in this world. Or it can also be said is situated in Brahman. Mat sthani sarva bhutani. Mat sthani means mere sthan mein, in my sthan, in me. Sarva bhutani, all the jivas. Bhuta refers to jiva. Sarva bhutani means all the jivas. Every jiva is situated in me. Is that correct or not correct? Are we situated outside Krishna? No, we are not. We are situated inside because nothing outside Krishna. But Krishna says the contradictory statement, na cha aham. Cha aham means aham, me, na. I am not situated. Teshva refers to Sarvbhutani Avasita. But I am not situated in them. So they are situated in me, but I'm not situated in them. So this looks a very contradictory statement. All the bhutas, all the jivas are situated in me, but I am not situated in them. So we read this in 6.30 and close by verse, I think 629, 30, 31. 3 verses we read. 3 different manifestations of Krishna in this material world. Anyone remembers those 3 different manifestations? The first manifestation, Purusha avatar of Krishna in this material world is?
Mahavishnu.
Thank you, Mahavishnu. Another name of Mahavishnu is?
Karunodaka
Shai Vishnu. Shai, sleeping, Karunodak. Karan, Karanav Jal, casual ocean. He's lying the casual ocean. He's lying on the bottom of the casual ocean. And what is he doing? Breathing in and out. When he breathes out, what happens?
The
universe
Universes
come out like a bubble. So if you go under the water and you release some air from your mouth, so what happens? The bubbles come out. So Mahavishnu is doing not only with his nostrils, it also from all the pores of his body. So what happens? All the universes come out. Then Mahavishnu expands in the second part as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Goes inside the Brahmanda, Garbhodak Shai, Garbha ocean. So inside the Brahmanda, you'll have Garbha ocean. There he's lying as Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. And then what happens? The third manifestation? Shirodaka Shai Vishnu, also known as simple terms?
Paramatma.
So Shirodaka Shai Vishnu is the third manifestation of Vishnu. Enters into every atom as a super soul in the material world. Now, obviously, spiritual world, there is no super soul. There is only soul. Sarupa is there. Super soul is not inside, it's outside. You can see Krishna anytime. Now, in the material world, Krishna has these 3 manifestations. So when we say we are inside Vishnu, is it correct to say which Vishnu we are talking here? Say Mahavishnu. Now we say Vishnu is outside of everything. So we are looking from different perspectives. Suppose you are standing on an earth planet. Can you say Krishna is in Golok Vrindavan? Golok ev nisatya akhilat bhuto. Brahmaji says in Brahma Samhita, where does Krishna reside? In Golok Vrindavan. Very far, huh? Is it correct statement or incorrect statement?
Correct.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary that there are different manifestations of Krishna which is being referred to. This is not a contradiction. because every different manifestation has a different purpose, and Krishna is doing that. So when we read these sort of lines, we should not get confused. Matasthani Sarvbhutani, we are inside Krishna, but Krishna is not inside us. Krishna is far away in Golok Vrindavan. He's having, Leela with Yashoda Maya, with Madhumangal. He's doing that right now. He's not here. He's not concerned with, our mortgage rates are increased, interest rates are increased, petrol prices are increased. So we have to work hard, get another job or something. He's not worried about that. At the same time, he's inside us. He's aware of everything. Now we'll see 9.5, another contradiction. Beautiful verse. Divya Mataji, would you like to read?
Nacha matsani bhutani.
Nacha
Nachamatani bhutani.
Pashyame yogameshwaram.
Pashyame yogam eshwaram.
Bhuta vrinnacha bhutosto.
Bhuta vrinnacha bhutastho.
Mamatma bhuta bhavana.
Mamatma bhuta bhavanaha.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I'm everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation.
Thank you. So, Nacha Matisthani Bhutani. Let me just put in the fourth verse, the third line. Can anyone read loudly? Mat isthani sarva bhutani. Right? Krishna says 9.4. 9.5, first line. Nacha mat isthani bhutani is exactly opposite line, isn't it? So 9.4, Krishna says, all living beings are in me. Right? That's what it says. And 9.5 says, Nacha mat isthani bhutani. Everything that is created does not rest in me. Now, what a contradictory statement. Huh? There's no better contradiction which you can see. So apparently it seems like a contradiction, but is it a contradiction? I already explained. We have to look at which reference point we are looking from. So although Krishna is the basis of everything, one of the meaning of word Narayan is where all the Naras take iron, shelter. So all the living beings, the aggregate of living beings take shelter in, that is called Narayan. So we take shelter in Narayan. There's no other shelter. We may be living in Chatswood or Glenfield or Edmondson Park. We are all taking shelter of Narayan. This is Narayan Bhumi. This is Ram Bhumi. This is not, sorry to say, Glenfield Bhumi or Chatswood Bhumi. We are all living in Ram Bhumi, in Krishna Bhumi. So there is no other shelter. But Krishna says, which seems to be very sort of logical, Madhisthani Sarvbhutani, every living being is living in me. But in another line, it's in Nacha Madhisthani Bhutani. They are not resting in me. So what is it reference to? It's referencing to a different aspect of Krishna. Now, I was listening to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu lecture, and he very nicely explained Arthapatti concept, which is explained by Shankaracharya. So what it says, one example which Prabhu gave, I will share that. He says a person, Dev or something, a Dev is not eating throughout the day. And the second statement is Dev is getting fat. So first statement says he does not eat. And the second statement says he's getting fat. So you say this is contradictory statement. But when the two contradictory statements are made, the Arthapatti Nyaya, the Arthapatti logic says there's a third statement which reconciles these two statements, which is sort of referring to a deeper truth which is hidden in first and the second. So what's the first statement? Deva does not eat throughout the day. Second is Deva is getting fat. So third statement which reconciles the both, Deva eats secretly at night. Is that right? So Deva does not eat throughout the day, but he eats throughout the night. And that's why his statement, his weight is increasing. So when in Shastra, we read some two contradictory statements like Gajendra Moksha prayer, you will read Gajendra says, Arupaya. Gajendra says in one of the prayers, Arupaya, Krishna has no rupa. And the second line, he says, Urupaya. Urupaya means he's beautiful. Right? First line, he says he has no form. Second line, saying he's very extremely beautiful. He has many beautiful forms. Urupaya, beautiful. Urugaya, Urupaya, beautiful. One who's praised by choicest poetry. Urugaya, Urukram. So, Arupaya, Urupaya. So what is the third statement we have to make? He doesn't have material form, but he has multifocal, various spiritual, beautiful form. Huh? Makes sense? Material form he does not have. So Krishna is not like you and me who will have a skin, and if the skin gets cut, you get bleed, you have flesh and bone and all that. Krishna doesn't have all this. Huh? Krishna is completely spiritual. We are not. We are also spiritual, only at the spirit. In the body, we are not. Huh? If you cut the body, it will bleed. So Krishna doesn't have a material form, but he has very beautiful and many, many spiritual forms. So both his statements are correct. So when we say Krishna, all the living beings are in Krishna, which is correct, Matisthani Sarvbhutani. And the second statement is Nacha Matisthani Bhutani. They does not rest in me. We have to look the point of reference. And then Krishna says, Paschime Yogam Ashram. Look at my Aishwarya. So he's not shy. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. Huh? Sometimes we say some statement in the class and say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Huh? So is Krishna making a mistake? No, he's God. He does not make mistake. Huh? So he's saying, Paschime, this is my Aishwarya. This is my Aishwarya. Krishna, 7-year-old, lifts the Govardhan hill on his pinky finger, on the tip of the pinky finger. Now you'll say, oh, this is all exaggeration. Huh? He's dancing with 6 billion gopis for the night of Brahmaji. It's all exaggeration. No, it's not exaggeration. But we don't understand. If we understand with logic all the activities of God, then logic will become God. And God is not under our logic. God is beyond our logic. God is beyond our. Jiva Goswami coined this term called trans logic. So Krishna is not logical. He is not illogical. Something is not logical, we call it illogical in the material world. But Krishna is not logical. You cannot understand all his activities through logic. But it does not mean he's illogical. He is trans-logic. Trans-logic means beyond the logic. Our brain, our head is very, very tiny, very, very tiny. How can we understand Krishna's activity? And because we cannot understand Krishna's activity, that's one of the feature, he's God, isn't it? Because if you can understand, it's another human being, another intelligent, brave human being, but he's not. He is trans-logic. Huh? Paschime Yogam. Look at my Aishwarya. Look at my Aishwarya. Krishna is like very boldly exclaiming, look at my Aishwarya. All living beings rest me, but they does not rest in me. Bhuta Brahnacha Bhutasto. Bhuta Brahna refers to maintainer. So Bhuta refers to living. He is the maintainer of living entity. So our job where we work, wherever, ANZ Bank, CBA, Westpac, they are not the maintainer. Krishna is the maintainer. Huh? Nacha Bhutastho. But although I am the maintainer, but I am not attached with them. So usually when we maintain someone, do we get attached? Yeah, there's one company advertises, if you sponsor a child, they will send you a video, thank this and that. Every month they will send you a report of this child in Africa or somewhere. So we get attached to that child. Let's go and meet with the child. Huh? We get attached. Whoever we maintain a family, we get attached. We maintain a house, we get attached. We maintain a car, we get attached. We get attached to everything except Krishna many times, if not all the time. So, but Krishna, Bhuta Brahman, he's actually maintainer of all living entities. Bhutasto, Nacha Bhutasto, Mamatma Bhut Bhavna. I am the Mamatma Bhut Bhavna means I'm the creator of all the bhutas, of all the existence. Prabhupada writes, for myself is the very source of creation, but I'm not attached. Suppose you create a son or a daughter, and I'm not saying you should not, but you get attached, right? And you maintain it. You produce and you maintain. But Krishna is the producer of all the living entities. He's producer of all the material world. Is he attached? He's supremely detached. He's supremely detached. Huh? When the whole words get annihilated, is Krishna crying in one of the corner? Oh my God, my Sydney is gone. Harbor Bridge is gone. Switzerland, Zurich is gone. Krishna doesn't cry. When we lose a pen, we cry. Huh? Our car have some problem, we go to the garage, mechanic says $850, we cry. Krishna doesn't cry on all this. Huh? He's completely detached. At the same time, this is the Krishna's Paramatma aspect. Obviously, he cries for his devotees. He loves his devotees. He cries of the fear of Mother Yashoda. That's a different sweetness of Krishna. But in terms of his supremacy, he is supremely detached. And he says, I'm not part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source. So being the maintainer and the creator and not being attached, who can do that? Anyone of you can do that? You create, you maintain an object or an entity and not be attached. I bet no one can do it. Only God can do it. Only God can do it. If we do some service to someone, even if this person forgets, we remember, Aapko yaad hai? I gave a glass of water to you 15 years ago. You're very sick. I gave you a Panadol. When some person may agree disagreement with each other. भूल गए मैंने क्या किया था? You forgot everything what I did for you. We get attached. We tell this person how great I am, how great I am. Huh? Krishna is not telling, I'm giving you oxygen, I'm giving you water, I'm giving you space, I'm giving you clothing, I'm giving you face, I'm giving you energy to speak, I'm giving matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. Only because of Krishna, when I get up in the morning, I remember I'm Hemanga Chaitanya. I'll forget, obviously, isn't it? If Krishna does not provide me the smriti, I will forget who I am in the morning. When I sleep, I just sleep. Krishna is giving everything, but I forget Krishna. I forget Krishna. Only because of his energy, I am able to do anything. I'm moving my hand. Krishna is allowing me to move my hand. I'm speaking. Krishna is allowing me at this stage. But Krishna, that's why he's God, because he's not attached to all this. Okay, let's move forward to 9.6. Jamati Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, before you start, Mataji, so 4 and 5, he talked about the sustenance part, how he sustains, how he maintains. Now he will talk about how the living entities are living. So 4, 5, 6 about the sustenance, and then 7, 8, 9 will talk about the creation and the annihilation. So this verse is for living entities. Yes, Mataji.
Yathakasha stitho nityam.
Yathakasha stitho nityam.
Vayur sarvatra go mahan.
Vayu sarvatra go mahan.
Tatha sarvani bhutani.
Tatha sarvani bhutani.
Matsthani upadharaya.
Matisthani iti upadharaya.
Thank you. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me.
Thank you. Yatha Akash. So Akash, we know sky. So I'll just do a normal translation of this verse. It can be a very technical translation as well. We'll just keep it simple. So Yatha Akash istito nityam. Nityam refers to always. Akash is the sky, or the space which we see around on top of our head. Vayu sarvatra gomahan. So all the Vayu, the wind, the air is very mahan, is very mighty, actually, very, very mighty. But wind is always blowing within the limits of Akash. Can wind cross the Akash and blow outside? No. Wind is only blowing within that shell. So it says, similarly, Tatha, similarly, Sarvani Bhutani, all the Bhutas, all the Jivas, Mat Isthani Itudhare. They are going here and there, but within my range. And the example is given, which you can understand very clearly. Everyone would have seen a bakri, a goat in the village, a goat tied with a rope. So suppose the rope is 2 meters, for example. So bakri has unlimited freedom. A goat has unlimited freedom within the range of 2-meter rope. When she reaches to the end of the rope, can she go further? She will try, but she cannot. She cannot. But within the 2 meters, she has unlimited range. So jivas have been given freedom, definitely unlimited freedom within a restricted framework. So you are allowed to go in your house. You have 4-bedroom house, for example. You can go in any room, anytime, but can you go in neighbor's house in his bedroom or master room anytime? Can you go that? Can you do that? No, there are restrictions. So within your house, within your radius, you can do anything. So different jivas have different sort of rope bound in their neck. And what is that rope called? The rope of karma. So based on our past karma, we have been given certain freedoms. Some people are very beautiful, very smart, very intelligent. When they speak, everyone sort of claps at them. Some people are very ugly looking. They're not so smart. They don't have many qualifications. They doesn't have much money. So all this is called the rope of karma. Now, if you have, say, $100 in your account, in your pocket, how much can you spend the max? $100. Now you'll say, I have MX card. Now, if you have $100, you probably would not get MX card. Mohit Prabhu can probably get you one. He's a banker, but it's still, they do all the credit checks and whatnot, just to make sure you can pay it off. So the point is, if you have $100, you can only spend $100. Now within 100, you can make movements. You can stay in this hotel, that hotel. You can spend on this dish or that dish. But if you have $10,000, your freedom increases or decreases? Increases. You can buy more things. You can have more facilities in your life. You have 10 million. So similarly, the rope is bound on everyone's neck. Your credit card limit is $25,000. You can only go max $25,000. So our karma limit is 25,000 credits, for example. You can only do 25,000 credits, not beyond it. So this is called given a limited framework. But within that, You can shop in LD, you can shop in Kohl's, you can go in Myers, whatever you want to do within that framework, you can do. So living entities rest within Krishna, and they are making unlimited movements within the limited framework given to them. Okay, so they cannot go out of Krishna, as a wind does not go out of the Akash. Now let's talk about the creation and the annihilation part with 7, 8, and 9. Bhakti Vijay Mataji, would you like to do?
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकम्
प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम्
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
विषये पुनस्तानि
कल्पादो विसृजाम्यहम्
कल्पादो विसृजाम्यहम्.
O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Right.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, if you remember, this verse is similar to the verse in 8th chapter, where the Krishna was telling, I think, probably 20, 21 verse, I can't remember exactly. Bhut gramam sa evayam praliyate. So all the bhut grama, the aggregate of living entities, bhutva praliyate, again and again gets annihilated. So there it was, similar theme was mentioned here, again and again getting the annihilation. But there's one difference between that verse and 9.7. The difference is, there it was not mentioned who was doing it. And here Krishna says, I do it. So Sarva Bhutani Konte, all the Bhutas, Praktim Yanti Mamikam, they belong to me actually. They enter. Mamikam refers to me. Sorry, Yanti. Yanti refers to enter. They enter into me. Enter into me means you can say going back into the body of Mahavishnu. Kalpa Shaye. What does Kalpa refers to? Anyone remembers? From the diagram which we discussed from the 8th chapter, 1 day of Brahma, right? Which has 1000 Chaturyuga, just the daytime, not the nighttime. So Kalpa Chaya, when the Kalpa finishes, Brahma's day finishes, Kalpa Chaya Punastani. Kalp Adav. Adav refers to Adav Shraddha. Adav is beginning. Adi Purush. We have Adi Dev Prabhu amongst us. So Adi is Adi Dev Prabhu now. So Kalpa Adav Vishrajami Aham. Vishrajami refers to create. Srajami. Paritranaya Sadhunam. Srajami, Vishrajami, Vishesu Srajan, create. So I create them again and again at the beginning, Kalpado, and Kalpachaye, they get annihilated. So Krishna is sort of re-emphasizing the same point, but he is saying aham. Aham word was not used in the 8th chapter. The process was mentioned, but who was the doer of the process, that was not mentioned. Sarvbhutani Konte. So at the end of the millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature, go into the body of Mahavishnu, and the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Now, 7.8, sorry, 9.8. Anyone? Sundar Gopal Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prakritim swam avashtabhya.
Prakritim swam avashtabhya.
Visrajami punah punah.
Vishrajami punah punah.
Bhutagramam imam krishnam.
Bhutagramam imam krishnam.
Avasham prakritir vashat.
Avasham prakritir vashat.
Translation: the whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Thank you.
It's also very clear. So, Prakritim Swam Avastabhya. Avastabhya refers to entering into. So, it enters into. So, which we read in the previous verse as well. Vishrajami Punah Punah. And I create that again and again. So, it gets annihilated again and again, and I create it again and again. Bhutagraman. What happens inside? Bhutagraman. Grama refers to not Gaon, not village. It refers to aggregate of all the Bhutas. So, all the Bhutas who are in this conditioned nature. Imam Krishnam. Krishnam refers to, anyone remembers? Krishna and Krishnam. Krishnam refers to whole. Akhil, Akha. Bombay, Akha, India. Krishnam, Imam Krishnam. So this whole lot of jivas, Avasham. Avasham refers to Vasha and Avasha, helpless. This word is also used in the 8th chapter. And we are speaking about people say, you know, jab maut aayegi tab dekh le. When death comes, we'll see. Nothing much they can see. They just have to leave and go. Yamasya karuna nasti. When Yamraj comes, he will not see. You know, you are sitting in the kitchen, you are in the bathroom, you're sleeping, or you're feeding your baby. They will not see. When your time comes, not even single extra moment will be given to you. Yamasya karuna nasti. He has no karuna. He will come, he will do his job, and he will go. He will take you, and everything else will be left behind. Avasham, Prakrti Vashat. And who is the Vasha? Who is the sort of doer here? Prakrti is the doer. In the next verse, next verse, Krishna will say, who is the master of the Prakriti? Maya Dakshina Prakriti, Surya Sacharacharam. I'm the master of the Prakriti. Huh? So basically, it gets annihilated, it gets created again and again. Huh? And the Jivas are Avasha. So Bhuta Gramam, the Jivas are Avasha. And who is Vasha? Who is the controller? Prakriti is the controller. And Krishna is the master of that Prakriti. Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport there as well. 9.9, who haven't read as yet?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, please, Prabhuji.
Nacha mam tani karmani.
Nacha mam tani karmani.
Nibadnanti dhananjaya.
Nibadnanti dhananjaya.
Udasina vadhasinam.
Udasin vadhasinam.
Asaktam teshu karmashu.
Asaktam teshu karmashu. Translation, Prabhu?
Sorry, Prabhu. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as through neutral. Translation by Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now what we've been reading for the last two verses, so Krishna creates and annihilates, creates and annihilates. So creation sounds all right. Annihilation means destruction. Now, two aspects are there. Many times we talk about a God who's only beautiful, who's very sweet, who's maintaining, who's laughing and smiling, giving blessings, all that. But it says the complete picture of God is not just who's very sweet. The complete picture of God is who destroys as well. Huh? There's a little acronym God: generator, operator, and destructor. Huh? We must have heard that. So God includes three aspects. Huh? He creates, he maintains, and he annihilates. So one who is only after maintenance is not looking the whole picture of God. Now, I said destruction is a very ghastly thing. Huh? Suppose someone builds a house and you go and put a bulldozer on top of his house. What to speak of a house? You take your kid to a beach and he or she, creates a nice sand house, and you try to destroy the house. You can imagine the reaction which come out of that kid. Huh? Even the kid is 3-year-old, he will say, Papa, you have destroyed my house. And he will show show his or her reaction when he comes home. Huh? You destroyed my house, I'm going to break your house. Huh? So anything destruction, we don't like. But why we don't like? Because destruction hurts people. Destruction harms people. But when Krishna, and we are attached to that. That's another aspect. We are attached to it. We are attached to our ego and we want to put others' ego down. So we destroy that person or that person's possession. And when he cries, we feel very happy in our heart. Now I'm feeling joy because, now he is crying because we are attached with our own ego. But Krishna is not attached, as we were discussing. Krishna is completely detached. And that's why Krishna uses the word Nacha mam karmani, tani karmani. This karma is an action, you can say. I'm doing action of creation and destruction. Na should be added to nibadhanti. Nibadhanti means binding. This action does not bind me. Suppose you destroy someone's property, he will sue you. Huh? He will take action on you because you have destroyed his property. Suppose you destroy his house. Suppose you put fire in his house or put water in his whole house. And imagine if people are killed in that accident, there's a big case on you. Huh? Big case on you. You'll have big consequences coming through. But imagine you destroy a whole city, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Or multiple cities. Imagine you destroy the whole world. Imagine you destroy the whole universe. Imagine you destroyed many, many universes. How much karma are you going to get? But Krishna does not get any. Krishna does not get any. Why he does not get any? Na nibadhanti udasinavad, because I am as neutral. Why the word as neutral is used? I'll just put in translation of Prabhupada. Udasinvad. What is udasin? Udasin, he could have used word udasin. I'm like, udasin, what's the difference between udasin and udasin what as neutral? Because Krishna is not neutral to everyone. If he was a neutral to everyone, he's an impersonal God. A stone is neutral to everyone. But who is Krishna? Krishna is a person. He has emotions. And who is not neutral with? Devotees. He's not neutral with devotees. Huh? For the rest of the whole world, he's like a judge. He's like a Paramatma. You did good activities, you get good reward. You did bad activities, you get punishment. But Krishna with his devotees says, Apiche sudurachara, even if you have done the worst activity, I will take care of you. When you come and take my shelter, what happens? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. He does not give result to the devotee. And Prabhupada says he just gave a token reaction. So whatever, some discomforts come in the life of a devotee, what a devotee thinks, it's just a token reaction of my past karma. I was supposed to get my hand cut, but Krishna only gave a little cut in my finger. Krishna only gave a little cut, bandage. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for reminding me that I need to remember you more. So Krishna is udasin, as if he's neutral, but he's not completely neutral. A judge, when he goes home, is he neutral to his grandchild? He's not. The grandchild rides on his back. Dadu, jaldi chalo, jaldi chalo, jaldi chalo. Dadu, walk fast. And Dadu walks fast. He's very old. He's relishing the rasa, which he's reciprocating with his grandchild. And the word asakta is used. Asakta refers to, this is asakta and asakta. So he's asakta or asakta. He's asakta to the materialistic people and asakta to the bhaktas. So whoever surrenders unto me up to whatever degree, I reciprocate with him accordingly. 4.11. So, O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached. Udasin, all these material activities seated as though neutral. Yes, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. When you said mentioned about the seated as neutral, so does that mean, in other words, you're also saying that Krishna is more merciful towards his devotees as compared to who are not who are doing their karma, but who are not taking his shelter?
Definitely, Mataji. Whoever says it takes one step towards Krishna, he takes 100 steps towards that person. You chant one Hare Krishna, he's so pleased. He's so pleased. My child is remembering me. Although you may not be chanting with full consciousness, with full carefulness, he's so pleased with that person. He arranges more facilities for you to become a better devotee. But for karmis, he's just okay. He still gives them wind, he gives them water, he gives them sunlight, he gives them prithvi, he gives them everything. But it's just a karmic reaction. They get good because they have done good. They get bad because they have done bad. So Krishna acts like a supreme judge there.
Okay, because that sloka comes in my Neha Bikram Nasusti. So even doing that small amount of
correct.
Krishna.
You start your devotion and Krishna sort of helps you. Like you would have seen some young children, trying to walk. When they try to walk, they fall down. They're trying to walk, they fall down. So what does the mother or father do? They hold the hand. They become so happy. Oh, this child has started walking. So now mother is not concentrating on, oh, you can't even walk. You're a human being. You should be able to walk. Mother becomes so happy. There's a Kodak advertisement. The mother was taking the photo. In India, I have seen it. I'm sure some of you would have seen it. And the father comes, oh, I could not see my child's first walk. And mother said, oh, I've taken the photos. So mother becomes very happy. Krishna becomes very happy. As soon as you start, even your starting is very, very low, very weak, but mother becomes very happy. When a bache, totally bhosha, the broken language they speak, does mother or father like it or dislike it? Not speaking clearly. They love it actually better. So when we start our totally bhasha, the broken language with Krishna, little services for Krishna, Krishna becomes so happy. It's okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. So I was thinking because also Krishna also, I feel, is he also giving us like sometimes we are, and being in this material world and in this body, we feel like we question sometimes, we are trying to do so much, for the pleasure of Lord or for the, or we are thinking anyways, we are doing so, or for our, serving devotees or doing something like that. Then still, Krishna is obviously seeing those things, but still we kind of get a bit disheartened because sometimes because we are living entities, we think that why are we going through such suffering. So that is, I guess, probably related to, is Krishna trying to tell us we need to be more serious or keep surrendering
token reaction,
more
as we were
surrender?
discussing. Yeah, as we're discussing the token reaction, we do get some token reactions given by Krishna. Krishna sanctions that so that we can become serious for the serious things and unserious for the unserious things. Usually we are very serious about the unserious things of the material world. Very insignificant things become very, very serious. Usne mujhe aisa bola, I will show him or something like that, very unserious thing. We take it very seriously, but Krishna consciousness, we does not take it seriously. So sometimes Krishna slaps, little slap to a child with love that become more serious. So they are the mercy of Krishna, and Kunti Maharani has, praise for it. Vipita Shantata Shastra Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Please give me more and more miseries so that I can remember you more and more. Because remembering you means not remembering the material world anymore. So they are our sampatti. They are the wealth actually, if we understand it correctly. Now, again, we may go other way and we can become frustrated with Krishna. That, oh, Krishna, I've been serving you for so long and you're doing all the wrong things in my life. One devotee says, when Krishna likes you, he gives you the things. And when he loves you, he takes away the thing. So when the thing's going too much haywire in your life, I'm talking in a positive scenario, you should not actually become disturbed. You should say, thank you, Krishna. Thank you so much. I was too attached, Parikshit Maharaj, when he got cursed. What was his response? It's in the Bhagavatam. He says, oh, Krishna, I was so attached. No, he was not attached, but he said, I was too attached to my queens and my wealth and my kingships. Thank you for giving me curse so that I can concentrate 7 days on you. That's Parikshit response. Imagine what will be our response. Krishna, ye diya hai. You have given me this. You know how much donation I have given, how much time I have given, how much energy I fought with my friends and family, and I served you. I went for 303 Mangala Aartis. It's in my sadhana card. Look at that. You forgot all that. That's what you have given. What about Takshak? Even a small criticism comes to us, we cannot tolerate. We cannot tolerate a small criticism. Maybe wrong. We take it very seriously. Next day, when we are chanting, all the time we are thinking only one thing. How come he criticized me? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Dekh lunga. Hare Krishna, Krishna. One criticism we cannot tolerate. What to speak of some bodily problems? Very difficult for us. Okay. Again, it's very easy to say, to be very honest. I'm also struggling a lot. But the point is the principle we can appreciate. And Radhanath Maharaj says, start meditating on the principle at least. We cannot physically apply everything today. Meditate on those principles and slowly you will see. You'll become joyful even in the very unfavorable situation in your life. You'll become joyful. They are the mercy. I think Vishwan Chakra Thakur called this love kisses of the beloved. Sorry, the wrong word. Vishwan Chakra Thakur uses this. It hurts, but you feel joy in the heart. He talks about it. Chaitanya talks in the class. Love kisses. I didn't know this word actually, but he explained it. When it gets cut, you feel pain, but internally you feel joy. So it hurts. We agree, it hurts. But internally you feel joy. Actually, Krishna, acha hua. When Narad Muni mother left, what did Narad Muni think in the previous life? Thank you, Krishna, my mother left. Now I can serve you 100%. Huh? Now we are not praying for those things. We are very, 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 very neophyte in that sense. But the point is we can appreciate these devotees. We can appreciate these devotees and just get a glimpse. When a small problem come in our life, it should be stable. It's all right. It's all right. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Now we'll do one more verse, which is in the same series, in the same section, and then we'll stop. 9:11 is a different section, which will start next class. 9.10. Who hasn't done as yet?
I can do, Prabhu.
I'll do it, Prabhu.
Okay. I think Mohit Prabhu already done one. Maybe Mataji can do.
Mataji can do it, sure.
9:11, 9:10. Maya dakshena prakritihi.
Maya dakshena prakritihi.
Suyate sacharacharam.
Suyate sacharacharam.
Hetunanena kaunteya.
Hetunanena kaunteya.
Jagad viparivartate.
Jagad viparivartate.
Translation: this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is one of the Prabhupada, one of the favorite verses. Prabhupada would quote this verse again and again. Many, many times he would listen from Prabhupada. Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sachacharam. Especially the first part, he will quote again and again. Basically trying to prove. Many times the scientists or the materialistics say, the material nature is doing it. Prabhupada will say, the mango has come, the Surya, the sun has come, the Chand, the moon has come, the air is where it's coming from. So they will from material nature, but Radha Govind Maharaj said, material nature kiski hai? Who is the owner of this material nature? Huh? And Prabhupada said, Maya Dakshina Prakriti. Maya means me. I am the Adhyaksha. Adhyaksha refers to supervisor. If you break the Adhyaksha, Adhi Aksha. Aksha refers to eyes. Huh? One of the Krishna's name is Adhokshaja. Huh? You see in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.7. So Adhoksha. So Adhoksha was beyond the sense perception. So Adhyaksha, Adhyaksha. Aksha means he puts his eyes all over the place. So in India, especially when I was in, everyone want to become manager, supervisor, manager. Huh? 5 people, 10 people working under you. Why? Manager is a good post. Huh? What does manager do? He doesn't get hands-on with every single activity. He make other people do the work and he oversees. Oversees means seeing from the top. So Adhyaksha means eyes rakhta hai. So chalata kaun hai? Who runs the whole nature? Prakriti is running. Huh? Krishna has made a system, made a Prakriti, made a system of karma, made a system, planetary system, gravitational force, Surya, Chandra. He has made everything. And everything is running. It looks like automatically everything is running. Looks like it has it. Huh? But who is the Adhyaksha? Has to be Adhyaksha. When you see the material world, I think Newton or Einstein, I can't remember, he said the more you study the material nature, the more you appreciate the existence of God. You come closer to God. This is Newton speaking. Huh? Newton or Einstein, one of them. So they said that because when you see the material nature, you study the material, you see they're so nice. It cannot run automatically. It cannot. It has to be. There has to be some person driving this car. It just cannot happen automatically. I think it was Newton, Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Bhakti Charu Maharaj was explaining in his class in Sydney. I remember one of the Newton's friend visited Newton, and Newton has made a model of this universe, some rubber model or something in his house. Very beautiful model. So his friend visited and Newton was in different rooms. So when he came in this room, he saw the model. He was, wow, this is beautiful. Who has created this? He was very excited and Newton came. No one. It's just Big Bang. Big Bang. Hey, come on, yaar. How can a Big Bang create this beautiful model? This is really nice. Tell me, please, who is it? Then Newton said, if you don't believe a small rubber or plastic model is not made by anyone, how do you propose the theory of there's no God in the nature? Huh? Everything is like the earth is moving in its orbit, the Mangal Graha is moving, sun is moving, coming on time, going on time, air is there, fire is there. How can you say? And he has no answer. He had no answer. Huh? Bhakti Charu Maharaj explained that very nicely. A simple, very simple example. Car has to be a creator of the car, has to be a driver of the car, has to be a creator of the car. So Maya Dakshina Prakriti. So who is supervising this Prakriti? I am supervising this Prakriti. Suyate Sacharacharam. Suyate, Prabhupada writes, says manifest. What do I manifest under this Prakriti? Sa Chara and Achara. What does Chara refers to? Chalne wale. Huh? Chara means moving entities. Achara means stagnant, like trees, for example, mountains. They are Achala. Hetu nanen. What is the hetu? Hetu means what's the business? Sometimes we call kya hetu hai aapka? Huh? 1.2.6. Ahetu ki apratihata yayatma prasidati. Ahetu. What bhakti we are aspiring for? Ahetu bhakti. But right now we all have hetu. So what's the hetu of Krishna? Hetu nanena konteya. So Prabhupada writes anena this konteya jagat viparivartate. So viparivartate, parivartan. So in Hindi there's a word called parivartan. So what is the parivartan we are talking about? Creation, annihilation, and in between them sustenance. Who is doing all that? Creation, annihilation, sustenance. Krishna is doing that. He has created the Prakriti, the playground for the kids to play, and then he is overseeing everything. He doesn't get involved. When Rupam Prabhu doesn't get morning 5 o'clock, does Krishna come and wake you? Oh, Rupam Prabhu, please get up. I'm not saying Rupam Prabhu gets up every morning, but just saying I don't get up. So he doesn't get involved. Oh, why you are misusing your free will and you are a devotee, you should be getting up and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You're allowed to sleep till 7, 8, 9, whatever you want. Huh? Krishna doesn't disturb you. The Prakriti will deal with it. Huh? If I overeat, who will deal with it? Krishna or Prakriti? My stomach will deal with it. Last night you overate, now you have to suffer. Some devotee was telling, he went to a sort of feast somewhere, a devotee program, he overate. The next time, so it happens with all of us. When we go in a devotees program, we like, aaj zyada nahi khaunga. And when we sit there and 50 dishes are getting served, kha lo, dekha jayega. And then when we come home, again the vairagya comes. Oh, I should not overeat. So vairagya only comes after eating, not before eating. Anyway, so Jagat Viparivartate. So all this creation, sustenance, and annihilation is going on again and again. For what purpose? Suyate sa chara charam, for chala and achala, all the different living entities. And who is the Adhyaksha of all this? I am the Adhyaksha. I'll read again the translation. This material nature, Prakriti, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. Maya Adhyakshena. I am the Adhyaksha, under my direction. O son of Kunti, which is Kaunteya, producing all moving and non-moving beings. So, Suyate Sacharacharam. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Viparivartate. This parivartan is going on again and again. So, this section 4 to 10 is talking about Krishna's relationship with the material world and how Krishna sort of does different activities. And that's a difference as well from 8th chapter, where the process was mentioned. Who is the owner of the process was not mentioned. Now, next section, we'll talk about different types of devotees who have different relationship with, different types of people, I should say, who have different relationship with Krishna. Okay, it's 9:16. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, obviously, we'll take it in the next class, which will be announced by Sundar Gopal Prabhu. Unmute is not happening. Happened.
Sorry. We'll go to the next class, usual on Sunday. I'll send the notification of that.
Yeah, okay. So this was just a makeup class for 12th of March, which we missed out. And Sunday we'll have our normal class. And on this Sunday, I'm sure everyone will be happy. We can start at 3:30. Ujjwala Samataji is very happy. And next week, we don't have class, as Sundar Gopal Prabhu said, because we have Ram Navami festival. We have Bhanu Maharaj class next Wednesday. Also have Seva in the temple. So if you are available for the Seva, please come for Lord Ram service on Wednesday in the temple. And Thursday is Ram Navami, which is a fasting day as well. Evening, you can feast and chant and read and come to the temple. Big festival. And next Sunday is Ekadashi and is a Vyas Puja of His Holiness Jai Pataka Maharaj. So please come again for a big service and big feast and big festival in the temple. So everyone is welcome. So we'll have next class of after 26th of March. I'm just putting in the calendar, 5th of April, Wednesday night, which will be a makeup class for 2nd of April. And then we'll continue with our normal classes. Okay. One more thing quickly, and happy news. All your copies are checked, exam copies. I'm almost at the end of making reports. The copies are checked, essays, assignments, everything is checked. And I'll tell you your scores soon, probably by this Sunday. Or maybe after Sunday, I'll be start sending all the reports to you in the PDF file. So your attendance, your shloka, your assignment, your short and big and class, everything. So I just have to make the reports, the copies, the groundwork is all done. Just have to make report, which is also difficult, put everything in Excel and do a lot of work behind the scenes. Anyway, it will come to you sort of within a week. Close to Ram Navami, you'll hear the good news. Okay. So thank you everyone again for joining us today. I know it's a midweek. It's a little difficult, but it's very nice.